Alright, welcome. My opponent for this game was Commander. Commander was ranked silver at the time of this game. Rank number 578 for the Allies. Historically, he's been silver in past seasons. And with that, we'll get right into the gameplay. Alright, Germany round number 1. So, Russia did 4 infantry and 3 artillery buy. Did the 9-12. Lost 5 infantry taking West Russia. That's a killer. And then took Ukraine, lost everything, but has 2 tanks left over. So he opted not to put the AA gun in Ukraine, which works out. I'm going to play super aggressive in this game just to see if I can do it. And so I went ahead and bought 5 tanks, 2 infantry, and an artillery. And we're going to stack the hell out of Poland this turn. And we're going to try to push into Ukraine probably next turn. Either that or stack Karelia fat. I'm actually going to stack Karelia with 5 infantry this turn and see if I can get him to go and try to take it back. So we're going to take these 2 guys and 1 guy, and then we're going to hit it with all the fighters that we can. We're going to take this with 1. And then we're going to do trans. Right? And then we're going to do heavy C-Zone 7. I have an idea for C-Zone 7, but I'm not doing it. I was thinking about leaving this sub in reserve so that it can be used to attack fleets here in conjunction with planes. But since I didn't buy a bomber, it's going to be no threat anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and send it. And just make sure I clear this. And that is going to be it for Germany 1. Oh shit. There we go. Fuck. Okay, this is really bad. Really bad. It's been a long time since I've lost Transjordan, so my battleship's gonna be dead with ease. Oh man, that sucks. Alright, and I lost a fighter and did not take Ukraine. Oh, that is fucking priceless. Alright, we're going to put those fighters there and those there. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's put these fighters over here. And we're going to do this anyway. Alrighty. Man, that is atrocious. That is so bad. I mean, losing this would be one thing. It happens every now and then, but losing that and not even getting 2 hits with 3 attacking fighters in 2 rounds, and losing a fighter and this double hitbacks twice, that's pretty unheard of. Let's see. Move this forward. All right. Everything goes into Germany. All right, that's going to be the end of Germany round number 1. Pretty bad Germany round number 1. Man. That's really bad. Oh my god, and I didn't move the AA gun. Oh well. Oh man, this is just rough. Anyway, that's the end of Germany round number 1. I'll see you guys back for Japan round number 1. Alright, Japan round number 1. So, England bought an aircraft carrier, destroyer, and 3 infantry through the aircraft carrier and the destroyer. Moved his cruiser, so he's got his fleet here in 7. And he got 3 infantry into India. And his combat, he took my transport out, which we thought he would do it. Obviously killed everything in C-Zone 7. He lost a cruiser in the battle for this here. From 35. He lost a cruiser. Huh, okay. And then he moved and went this way with the stuff south of Australia. So he's going, this is kind of standard KGF moves. Didn't touch my transport. The only good thing about losing the battleship in round 1 because of his fleet here is that he didn't touch my transport. So I went ahead and just bought 2 more transports, 2 infantry and 2 artilleries. And we're going to start stacking the shit out of Asia as soon as possible. So first thing we're going to do is Pearl. No. Why would it go there? And then we're going to take this pretty heavy. And actually, let's do this here. Let's do 1 guy there. And then let's take 2 of these there. And then we're going to go 6 guys. And the fighter. Shit, he didn't move here. Maybe I can kill this. I think I'd have to use, let's see here. No, I'm not going to do it. I could do it. But I don't want to do it. I really could do it. Because it would be nice to kill this here. But in order to do that, I would have to use like the 2 fighters. And I want to do Pearl. I usually use like the bomber and the 2 fighters, but I want to do Pearl. So we're not going to do that. We're going to just do Pearl. We'll let him have the USA fighter for now. Alright. Alright, combat was okay. We ran into a little issue in Pearl Harbor. So the problem with taking the... We lost a cruiser and a fighter here. Because we had to take the fighter as a hit in the first round. Because if you don't, and the defending fighter doesn't get a hit, you have to move your aircraft carrier there. So it kind of sucks. We lost a cruiser, but it's not that big of a deal. But it would have been nice to have the cruiser survive, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, now we're going to take this guy and move him forward. We're going to move this fighter here, these two fighters here. We're going to move the battleship here and the aircraft carrier here. Move this aircraft carrier to 60. We will grab an artillery and a guy. Go to 61, drop him in Quang Tung, and then we'll take this guy over here. Grab the tank and a guy. Go over here and drop him in Quang Tung. Right? Right. Alright. Our two transports and our 2 and 2. Alright. Alright, so now we are set up to drop 8 units every turn into Asia. So we're going to start doing that. And we're going to press as hard as we can for Moscow as fast as we can. So anyway, that is going to be the end of Japan round 1, and I will see you guys back for Germany round number 2. Alright, Germany round number 2. So United States decided to go KJF and bought a battleship, a destroyer, and an aircraft carrier, and then took out my submarine or whatever I had left. I think I had a sub in 53. Sent the cruiser over to, or left the cruiser in 19. I'm kind of shocked by that. Maybe that could be a mistake, or he's going to marry it, or he's going to send it into the Atlantic. He might try to do the 2-ocean thing. And then Russia bought two more tanks, 4 infantry and an artillery, and he hit my 8 stack in Karelia and killed it, but he lost 5 infantry doing it. So I am going to stay aggressive. I'm going to hit Ukraine with everything I have in range of it. So I went ahead and bought, but I did revert back to non-tank blitz and went to 12 infantry and an artillery. So we are going to hit Ukraine with all this stuff here. Let's see. I put myself a note there because I need a couple of Japanese fighters to get this up to 96% to deal with all of this stuff. And I'm going to have a nice fat stack of stuff in Germany at the end of this turn, so if I have to push back, I will. I'm going to tank blitz Egypt just to get the money for a turn. And then what do I got there? I'm going to have, what, 3? Alright, with only 3 infantry, so let's try this here. Alright, so we did predict the, we predicted the loss. Let's put the AA gun. Gosh darn it. I know that. We're going to send 1 infantry there. And 2 of them here. We're going to send 2 infantry and the artillery into Baltic. This is going back to Germany. This is going back to Germany. This is going back to Germany. This is going forward. And then we're going to put an artillery and 9 infantry in Germany and 3 infantry in Italy. Alright. Kind of a short turn for Germany. I expect he's going to push forward and probably try to take some of this stuff, although probably not with the tanks. Maybe, well, he's got no... He may just take France and take France or take Northwestern. He's probably going to take France. And I might hard stack France next turn. I don't know. But in any case, we're going to try to push forward. This is going to be something we're going to have to deal with. So with my Japanese stuff, I'm probably going to put an industrial complex in Manchuria. And just build sea defense and try to get as many units as I possibly can over to towards Russia. I don't know how I'm going to do that though. I hate fighting off KJFs. I'm just not good at it yet. The 2 ocean thing is a lot easier though, obviously. If he's going to try to go and dedicate some stuff here and some stuff here, fine. Probably bombers and subs is going to be my best defense. But we'll have to see. Anyway, that's going to be it for Germany round 2. And I will see you guys back for Japan round number 2. Alright, Japan round number 2. So, USA, actually, we talked about it. They actually are doing a KJF with the USA side. And they're going to just do, they're going to do like the split ocean. And it's only round 2, and they're already doing a good job encroaching on Germany's positions here. So they're squeezing Germany in Africa. That'll be lost pretty soon, and they're going to have a lot of transports ready to roll. They bought a battleship for Sea Zone 7. So it's going to be a matter of time, very shortly, that they're going to be landing in Germany. Or in Europe, I should say. So obviously that makes the race towards Moscow even more important. But this is going to make the race hard, right? Because I'm going to have to deal with that. I'm already set up to drop... sorry about that. I'm already set up to drop 8 units into Asia this turn. And then subsequent turns, I'm not going to be able to. I went ahead and bought a carrier. So I'll have 3, a destroyer and 2 subs. And we're going to have to buy a couple of land units and ships for the rest of this until we can fend this off. Probably our home base will be in the Philippines, with some protection for the whatever we are able to land drop here. So we're going to take Burma. We're going to take Sichuan. We're going to take Xinjiang. And I really don't want to deal with this. I think that's all we need to do. We do need 1 turn of Japanese fighters in Ukraine just to make sure that we can defend against this stuff here. But only 1 turn, and then they can fly back to the Pacific here. Right, so... Alright. I think that's all we want to do. Really. I don't really want to risk a bomber on killing this destroyer. I'm going to need it for later, so... Let's see, what can it do? Nothing, really. Alright, I think that's it for the attack, so let's get that done. Alright, now all this is going to move forward. Tank is going all the way up here to Sinkang. We're going to put 2 fighters in Ukraine. And we'll put the other 2 fighters in 61. We'll take this aircraft carrier and go down here. Actually, let's go to the Philippines. Let's go to the Philippines and we'll put this fighter there. And then we do need 2 fighters there. We'll put 1 fighter there and 1 in 61. We'll leave in 61. Take our fleet down to Philippines. Our bomber will go where do we want to put our bomber? Let's put it in Yunnan. That's a good spot for everything, actually. And then we'll grab 2 artillery and 2 infantry. And we'll go there and put them in Yunnan. We'll take 1 transport over there. Grab these 2 infantry. Put them in Yunnan. And then we'll take the other transport. Grab the stuff off the Philippines. Put it in Yunnan. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're still okay. Now we're not okay. 5, 6. So this is not safe, but I got a battleship and destroyer, aircraft carrier and a plane. So 1 bomber ain't gonna do it. 2, 3. Okay. All right. All right. We'll put 2 subs there, and we'll put the aircraft carrier. Well, let's see. Do I want to put it? We'll put him there. I plan to mass most of my fleet in the Philippines. And then we'll have to see however many units we can dump. We'll start dumping them and move them towards Russia. So that's going to do it for Japan round number 2. And I will see you guys back for Germany round number 3. Alright, Germany round number 3. So USA, their entire move was to buy 4 fighters, which they put in western United States. And they didn't do any combat, and all they did was move their bomber to India. And they moved a destroyer from C-Zone 11 into 13. And then they moved all their Navy and all their units into C-Zone 56. So they kind of backed off the Pacific here, which is going to give me a little bit of time to add a couple more land units in Asia. And then Russia bought 4 infantry and artillery and 2 tanks and put everything except for 1 infantry into Russia. I'm sorry, put everything into the Caucasus and left only 1 infantry in Russia with his United Kingdom bomber. He also bought a battleship in round 2 with United Kingdom. I guess in anticipation of landings. Why he didn't put it in Sea Zone 8? I guess because I can't hit it with my fighters. If it was in 8, I guess I could hit it. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to kind of squeeze here, push back out with Germany to try to get some of our IPCs back. And then we're going to try a can opener. So he presented the opportunity for us to do a can opener using our German air power right here. So we just went ahead and bought 11 infantry and 2 artillery. We're going to have to stack Italy to defend against this mob. And then we're going to shuffle this around and do some stuff here. So obviously if he if he falls for this, it'll be nice because Russia has 29 IPCs. That'll be really nice lining Japan's pockets. The only downside is it's actually not that bad. If he decides to block Kazakh, he needs to use United Kingdom air power, and so we'll be able to knock off some of his air power at the risk of just like some infantry, which is always a good trade for us. So let's go ahead and run this turn. So we are going to go 2 and 14 into bellow. Actually, let's move everything into bellow. So we're going to move this stack up here. And we're going to attack Egypt. This is not that great of a battle, but it serves 2 purposes. One is if we get really good dice, we can break out into Africa. And the other thing is, if we only have maybe like 1 unit here left, maybe a tank left over, he might be tempted to use his fighters here, or maybe his bomber, and he won't think about landing one in Kazakh to block the can opener. Alright, I think that's all the combat we want to do. Oh no, it's not. I gotta do the can opener. So let's attack with the 4 fighters. This is generally a stupid move, risking air power to kill fighters. I mean, to kill infantry, but in this case, it's going to serve a purpose. So let's run all this crap and see what happens. Unlikely in Egypt. I didn't run the math, but it is kind of a toss-up, I think. Alright, let's run it. Alright, so combat was okay. We got very lucky. We did not lose a plane in Kazakh, which is nice. So we're going to land our planes. And let's land them here. Okay. We're going to move our AA gun up to bellow. Okay, so we have 1 tank left over, which is nice because, let's see here. It might be tempting for him to use 1 infantry here with his air power instead of landing it here in Kazakh. So that'll be good. The other thing we have to do here is we have to defend Italy. So we're going to move our AA guns and 1 infantry down into Italy. And then we're going to move everything else from Germany north into Baltic to press hard up here and have him looking this way. I guess the only other thing that he could do if he really wanted to... Why would he do that? I guess he could go after Ukraine's fighters with his fighters and his bomber. I don't know why he would do that, but I suppose it's possible. I don't think he's going to do that. All right. That looks pretty good, I think. Let me finalize this. All right, our 2 artillery go into Germany. We're going to put 3 guys in Italy and 8 guys in Germany. Alright, let's see here. Alrighty. Alright, so this is the state of the board right now. It's actually nice. We're going to get him looking over here. Hopefully he's looking at Egypt, Italy, and maybe looking in this direction here. And he doesn't notice the can opener, which is right here. If he notices the can opener, worst case scenario, I get to kill one of his planes, at risking of an infantry. And we were going to move into Kazakh anyway with Japan, most likely, at least lightly. So we'll see. Or we can execute a can opener. And if we execute the can opener, we're going to get a lot of money with Japan, and we can buy a fat ass navy in round 4, and then bum rush towards United States. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see. But in any case, that's going to do it for Germany round number 3, and I will see you guys back for Japan round number 3. All right, Japan round number 3. So United Kingdom. Go over his purchases. He bought 3 fighters and an infantry, and then he used his tank to attack Libya, ignoring Italy. And then he took France, so he moved his transports out of the Med. And then he used an infantry, 2 fighters, and a bomber to attack Egypt without losing anybody, so good for him. But that's kind of what we wanted him to do anyway. And then he moved an infantry and 2 fighters, so he actually succeeded in taking Burma Light. Took France, we talked about, and took northwestern Europe. So let's see here. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because after this turn, he's going to probably be scratching his head. So his non-com, he just moved a couple fighters into India, but that was from the attack. Landed his planes that he attacked Egypt in Trans. Moved his fleet over to C-Zone 8 to stack it there, and then moved a cruiser and a sub over to C-Zone 10, presumably to protect his transport that doesn't need protection because I have nothing that can reach it. Let's see. Okay, and then he took his little mini fleet that he had in 22 and moved it up to 10, and in preparation to probably take northwestern. Finland. Norway? Norway. But one thing he did not do was put any blockers in Kazakh. And he also vacated Russia completely by not taking, sending his bomber over here to Egypt. So we're going to make him pay for that one. So one of the not often used moves in Axis and Allies is lone AA guns can be killed from the air without firing a shot. So if you have an AA gun by itself and there's nothing no land units in there to defend it, or a fighter or anything else, it won't even shoot. So we're going to take that out for free. So we're going to take one plane and kill this AA gun. Alright. We're going to take the other plane and hit Russia with our tank that we're going to blitz through Kazakh. And our bomber. We just got to have to sack a plane if we have to in order to take Moscow. Absolutely a great trade, in my opinion. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take a guy. And we're going to take our our fighter from 61 and our 2 fighters from 48. And we're going to attack Burma. And that is going to be all of our attacks for this round. I didn't go over my buy. I went ahead and bought 2 subs, 2 fighters, and an infantry. He's going to probably buy more shit, or we anticipate that he's going to buy a couple aircraft carriers to land these planes on, right? He's got 2 planes there. He's needs space for these carriers, so he's going to have to buy some more carriers. And he still hasn't moved his cruiser in 19. I don't know what it's waiting for. It's still sitting there in 19. Could have been well, it could have been in C-Zone 8 by now if it wanted to, or 13. Anyway, I believe that is all that the combat I'm going to do. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, let's run it. Strong in Archangel, strong in Russia, strong in Burma, strong in Kazakh, of course. All right, here we go. Alright. So combat was good. We sacked Moscow, which is great. We did lose the bomber taking Moscow. I had the option of taking the bomber or the fighter. I decided to keep the fighter. And we're going to land... Actually, yeah, we'll land both of our fighters in Szechuan. Let's see here. And then we're going to move all this stuff forward. And we're going to move this stuff forward. Now, let's see here. Let's leave our 3 fighters here is going to go to 48. And then our transports will go to 48. And our destroyer to 48. Aircraft carrier to 48. Subs to 48. All of our whole navy. And I gotta do this move again. Okay. Our whole navy's going there. Let's see here. I'm gonna leave 1 infantry in Yunnan just so I can do this trade again if I need to. I'm gonna have... Well, I'm gonna have... I think enough guys there to defend Szechuan. I mean, I suppose I could land this fighter over here in Szechuan. Alright, I'm just debating on if I should move an infantry to Kazakh to block him in case he wants to do the 6 tanks and his 2 fighters into Sichuan to kill my stuff. This guy's kind of unpredictable. Alright. I'm going to not put anybody in Kazakh. If he wants to attack with the 6 tanks and the 2 fighters, it's really going to stretch Russia down here. Plus, I can just squeeze and kill all of his armor. And I think he's going to probably most likely just move everything back into Russia to take it back. Probably. This is a really long turn just to describe this, but it's pretty decisive turn since we did cap Moscow in round 3. So I'm going to finalize this non-com move, I think. All right, let's do that. Alright, sub's got to go in 60. And then everything else has to go in mainland Japan. And this is going to be a fat income of money right now. $73. Okay. That's legit. Getting the 73 bucks is fantastic. More importantly, Russia can't build anything for 2 turns. So he can't build anything in round 3. And he will be able to deploy in round 4. Alright. Let's see here. I think that's it. Alright, that's going to conclude Japan round 3. We'll see what his response is from Russia and USA. And I will see you guys back for Germany round number 4. We're going to obviously stack Karelia this turn, or next turn, round 4, on our way to most likely stacking West Russia. So, alright, I think that's it. Anyway, I'll see you guys back for Germany round number 4. Alright, Germany round number 4. So, United States, I haven't figured out the United States strategy yet. United States just bought 3 more fighters and a destroyer. And then the destroyer went to 56 and the 3 fighters went over to Eastern United States. He did take Manchuria. He used a United States bomber to kill my infantry in Manchuria. Which would have been kind of cool, except when Russia went, he did not move his Russian guy down here to take Manchuria. So I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that was, to risk a bomber, which died, to kill 1 infantry. But he chose to do that, so I'm sure there's some sort of rhyme or reason to it. And then Russia couldn't buy anything, obviously, because we had Russia at the time. He did a couple of things. He took Kazakh because it was undefended. He took Norway with his artillery that was in Finland, which we thought he would do. And then he pushed forward into Ukraine. Didn't lose anybody. But I only had 1 infantry in there. And then he took Russia back, which we thought. But it's okay because it thinned him out a little bit. But Russia's making a shitload of money. They're making 31 bucks a turn, which is way too much money for that to be making, especially in round 4. So as far as that goes, I think he's doing a good job with Russia. So we're going to do a couple of things here to combat the Allies' advance here. We're going to stack France. So we're going to hit France. Well, let's do it backwards here. Hold on a second here. We're going to take 1 artillery and 1 infantry and attack northwest Europe. And then we're going to take, let's see. We're going to take 12 infantry and our remaining artillery and go in there to take France. I will say we just bought 13 infantry with our 39 bucks. That's how we spent our money. The idea is just to get as much land troops as possible at this point. And then we're going to do this. We're going to take an artillery and an infantry and 2 of our planes from Szechuan and try to take Ukraine back. We're going to take 2 dudes and the other 2 planes from Szechuan and attack West Russia, and then we're going to take 1 infantry right now and capture Karelia, which will end up being a stack more than likely. But let me look. France, Northwestern, Ukraine, West Russia, Karelia. Okay. Alright, I think that's all we want to do. Alright, let's run these and see how they do. Alright. Okay, that's a pretty solid round of combat. We lost 2 infantry. I think it's pretty hilarious in France. 13 guys attacked and got 1 hit, and then his guy got 1 hit. 1 guy. So you gotta love that. Alright, so for the non-com, we are going to move our 2 AA guns over to France. We're gonna move these 2 guys to Poland, just in case he shenanigans and tries to take this back with a tank or 2. We are going to move all this stuff into Karelia. We're not moving the AA gun because we're going to land our fighters into Bello. So we'll keep the AA gun there. And then we will move our tanks into Karelia. Let's see. Let me see here. So I'm going to have 10 guys in Germany. And he can attack it with 2 land units, 1 plane, and a battleship and a cruiser. If that shit fucking wins, then I'm not playing this game anymore. So I think 10 guys will be enough. So I guess that's going to be it. We're going to finalize these moves here. Let's see. Make sure that everything moved where I wanted it to move. Alright. Alright, so now this is pretty straightforward. We dropped 10 in Germany and 3 in Italy. Let's see. And then we'll talk about France. Talk about France when we get there, but we have a shitload of money. We have $73 to spend with France. So, I'm sorry, not with France. What am I talking about? With Japan. So once we get to Japan's turn, we'll talk about how we're going to deal with the rest of the stuff. Probably drop a couple of industrial complexes in Asia and just start firing troops at Russia and get it to collapse, hopefully in a couple turns. Because this is not a lot of units, but he's got enough money to buy 10 guys. So I'm going to have to cap... I'm going to have to do something to squeeze some of his money out. But we'll deal with that when it's Japan's turn. So that's going to be the end of Germany round number 4. And I will see you guys back for Japan round number 4. Okay, Japan round number 4. So United Kingdom bought 3 tanks, a plane, some infantry, and some artillery. 3 tanks, a fighter, 3 infantry, and an artillery. The 3 tanks went into India. The fighter went into Sea Zone 8, and the infantry and artillery went into England. He then took Northwestern. And sent his fighters over here to Russia. My plan with Japan is going to be to pretty much just kill as much of Russia's stuff as possible and squeeze Russia out as quickly as possible. He moved into Persia with his stuff from India. So either the 3 tanks are put in there to go up to the Caucasus or go into Kazakh next turn, I don't know. Or they're put in here so we can push forward into Thailand, Malawi, Yunnan, etc. I had a nice big chunk of money from taking Russia last turn, but I didn't spend it all. I hung on to 28 bucks. I bought 6 infantry, a couple more subs, and an industrial complex for Manchuria. And we're going to hang on to the 28 bucks in case we have to drop like a mega fleet or maybe a couple of bombers or something else. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these transports. One of them. Grab a guy, throw it there. We're going to take 1 battleship. And attack. We're going to take our fighters and attack. Taking this territory is not extraordinarily important. Just making sure I kill that guy is. And then we're going to do 1 artillery, 1 infantry, and a fighter. And then we're going to do 1 infantry, 1 artillery, and a fighter. And then we're going to do 6 infantry and an artillery. And we're going to take Burma. So these 3 tanks, I'm not sure where he's going to go with them, but next turn we're going to have 6 infantry that we can throw in Yunnan to deal with whatever he has going on here. Let's see, is that everything? I think that's everything. Oh yeah, that's all the combat. Actually, I could take Australia. Alright, let's run this. Sorry, thought about taking Australia, but I think I'm going to wait a turn or two and just deal with Russia right now. So let's see what we got here. Strong, 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 strong. Okay. Alright, combat was great. The only loss we got was in Kazakh. So we are going to stack all of our fighters. In Sinkang. And we're going to use our 3 transports to grab troops. So grab troops, take them back to the Philippines. Grab as many troops as we can. Bring them back to the Philippines. All right. I think that's it. All right, industrial complex goes into Manchuria. 2 submarines into 60. 6 infantry into Japan. All right, we've got 68 bucks still. And we're going to start dumping a lot of land units into Asia. And we'll have to see. He's going to have to do something with this fleet pretty soon. We're slowly but surely building up a nice defense against this. And we just got to squeeze Russia fast. I should be able to squeeze Russia pretty good next turn. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what he does with Russia, if he puts anything in Caucasus, or if he's going to let me have that. Or he might just use England to go into the Caucasus. So maybe that's his plan, is to use to put stuff from England into the Caucasus. So I should take. That's the case. I should plan on taking India soon. But anyway, hopefully we can squeeze Russia out. This turn, though, he's going to have some money to drop. 31 money. So he's still producing way too much. Way too much. So anyway, that's going to be it for Japan round 4, and I'll see you guys back for Germany round number 5. Alright, Germany round number 5. So United States in round 4 went ahead and bought the 2 extra aircraft carriers, a tank, and an artillery for Western United States, because I guess start moving into the Pacific. And then his combat was he killed my infantry in Burma and lost a fighter. I guess to open it up so United Kingdom can run in here. Not sure, but I'm going to be able to drop 9 infantry in Yunnan this next turn. Or 8. I'm going to be able to drop 8 infantry in Yunnan this turn, and then buy a bunch of ships for defense and air power, so I'll be okay, I think. And then, what was his non-com? Oh yeah, I moved the destroyer to 18. Let's see here. Okay, so destroyer moved to 18 from 10, so now he's coming this way. So he's totally leaving the Pacific. And the cruiser finally left 19 and went to 56. So now his fleet is established here. So I need to knock Russia out of the game as soon as possible. I'm going to try to. Russia went ahead and just bought 9 infantry and an artillery. And he, of course, took all of his stuff back with no units lost in battle. No battles. He lost no units on any of his battles. So that was good for him. Let's see. And then he moved into Caucasus. So I'm going to press the issue. I'm going to stack West Russia, and I'm going to kick him out of Northwestern. My buy was just 11 infantry and an artillery. So I'm going to take 1 infantry and a fighter. And go there, and then I'm going to take everything else. Let's see here. And go into West Russia. And then I am going to go into Northwestern. Hopefully I don't lose too many guys on this attack. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. This is going to be a rough battle, I think. This I'm going to kill with Japan, although he's going to move all this stuff into here, I'm sure, in England's turn. He's going to move either the Caucasus or he's going to move into here. But after this move, he's going to have to do something. But I'm going to have to start buying ships for sure to keep pace with this. So probably only a couple of land units every turn into Manchuria. That's about it, probably. Let's see here. All right. This is going to be interesting here. All right, hold on a second here. Let me do one of my fighters there, and then I'll do one there. Because I got to kill this quick. All right, let's run it. All right, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Move that forward. And these guys are going to go to Poland. These guys are going to go forward. So I've got 9 and 1 and an AA gun, and it's a 26%. So if I move 1 infantry in there, 82%. Alright, so I need 11. Alright, so this fighter's going to Germany. One AA gun is going there. We're going to move 3 guys and 9 guys. Let's see, if I do, let's see, the bomber can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the bomber can hit. If I do no AA gun, oops. Ten infantry and 2 fighters. A 94. Let's see here. All right. So in Germany, I need 10 infantry and 2 fighters. All I need is 10 infantry and 2 fighters, right? So I can move that there. And let's see. I'll have 1. What if I do 1 and 10? And no bomber. I think I can do the battle. He can do the battleship, right? Okay, 1 and 10 and no fighters. 13 or no bomber, 13%. With an AA gun and 10, so I'm gonna leave that one there. That's fine. So I can move 7 there. So I'll have 10 there and an AA gun. And all he can attack me with is 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, 2 fighters, 2 cruisers, and a battleship. 85%. If I were to go 1 more and 1 more, this plane can go to Germany as well. %. And actually, I could probably put a fighter in France. No, I'll just leave it. 85%. If I did the math right. 1, 2, okay. So I'm going to do 10, 1, 10 and 1. Those are the same defenses, and I'll send one guy into Poland. And that'll give me 12 and 2 fighters. No AA gun. 12 and 2 fighters. And he has a bomber. $99. Right? Yep, we'll see what happens. All right. All right, let me just look at one thing here. He's got 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 2 fighters, 6, 7, 2 cruisers, 8, 9, 10 with the battleship, and the bomber. The bomber can only hit Germany. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Bomber can only hit Germany. If I take the bomber away, add 1 AA gun, 10 infantry, no fighters, it's like a 15%. Yeah. Alright. Alright, that works for me. It's rough, but it works for me. We put an artillery into Germany and 9 guys. And then we put 2 guys into Italy. Alright, kind of a long turn for Germany. But he's going to have to move some of this stuff back. I think he can buy 8 more units. He has enough money. Got plenty of money, so he can buy 8 more infantry for Russia. So he may not have to do that. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, this is the end of Germany round number 5, and I'll see you guys back for Japan round number 5.
All right. Germany round number 6. So United States went ahead and bought 2 more aircraft carriers and a destroyer. And then he moved his entire fleet into Sea Zone 58, which I haven't run the math on it, but I think I have odds on it. I think I'll have odds on it. I'm not 100% sure. But I've got 7 subs, 3 destroyers, 2 battleships, 2 aircraft carriers, and 6 fighters. He's got 6 fighters, 3 destroyers, 2 battleships, and a cruiser, and 3 aircraft carriers. So I don't think, and then he's got these sitting here. I guess he can follow up. We've got 1 destroyer, and then he's going to take out my subs, I guess. I don't know. But I can buy something that I can use to whack that. It's an interesting play. So anyway, and then Russia bought 7 infantry and an artillery, and then he strafed West Russia. Lost 9 infantry, 3 artilleries, and 2 tanks, and killed 9 of my infantry. So my options are, I can cap Russia, it's like an 88% to cap. I can cap Caucasus, it's like a 90-something% to cap. But then Russia could probably take me out. More than likely. Unless he does not use his English guys to kill this stuff in the Caucasus, which I think he's probably going, in Kazakh, which I think he's probably going to. So, my buy was 2 artillery and 10 infantry. I'm going to shift stack France and shift into Baltic. And then I think I'm going to hit the Caucasus. If I get a tremendous roll, I'll try to hold it, but otherwise I'll just try to strafe it and get to the fighters. So let's do that. So the first thing we're going to do is just go like this. Take our 2 fighters. And then we're going to hit this. And see what we can do there. All right, I think that's all we want to do. All right, so let's get it done. You gotta be kidding me. All right, combat was a success. We lost 1 guy in Baltic. We killed everything but 1 plane in the Caucasus, which is really nice. And then we're going to stack shift. We're going to go this is going to be interesting. I may have to fly a couple Japanese fighters here in case he decides to attack this with 4 tanks and his 2 Russian fighters to try to get rid of some of my tanks. But all in all, I think that's pretty good strafe. Right? Okay, so that's going to do it for Germany round number 6. Let me finish the non-com here. I could leave the AA gun in, then he'll just kill it with this, so I'm not going to do that. All right, and we're going to throw 2 artillery and 8 guys in Germany and 2 guys in Italy. All right, all in all, a decent turn for Germany. I'm going to have to check the odds on the fleet in the Pacific, and then I will see you guys back for Japan round number 6. All right, Japan round number 6. So United Kingdom bought 3 fighters, a tank, and an infantry. And then he took France, which we gave him, right? We gave him France. Took Archangel. lost an infantry and destroyed my 2 infantry there, and then he won the battle in Kaz, but he lost an infantry, a tank, and a fighter. So he went all in on Kaz and lost. Well, it was a draw. I did the math on this attack right here. I have a 96% chance to win this battle according to the calculator. If I lose it, I damn near might uninstall this game. But I've seen so many people with horrifying sea battles because attacking fighters are absolute garbage. So, he does also have a follow-up here in Navy, and it's going to be hard for me to go anywhere. I gotta hit Russia with Germany pretty quick. I think I can stack Kazakh. Maybe not. Probably not. But I can stack Karelia, kick him out of France, and he's got nothing. He's got 3 transports that are going to transport nobody. So I'll have Europe secured, and I can start just mass sending troops towards Russia. So I did buy like a follow-up. I bought a carrier in case these fighters here survive. I can land them in C-Zone 60 if I have to take carriers instead of fighters to end up to win this battle. And then I bought 2 destroyers, 2 subs, and a handful of land units. The one thing I will say about this battle here is if he has carriers set to die before fighters, I may retreat if I kill his carriers and then let all 6 of his fighters die. So I might do that. And then I'm just going to stack these so he has to trade. He doesn't have a lot to trade with, but I'm going to do it so that he has to trade. But we can do a couple things. Like we can take Burma with 1 guy. We can take Thailand with 1 guy. And then here's the big battle. 5 subs, 7 subs. 3 destroyers. This battleship. This battleship. Let's see here. These fighters. This fighter. These fighters. This guy can't reach. Our aircraft carriers. All of them. And it may get to the point where I may have to retreat to C-Zone 60 depending on how this battle goes. Because he's got a lot of 4s. He's got 8 defending 4s. So we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, but we got to take this battle. So let's run it and see how it goes. What was that? Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's take 2 of those. Okay, combat was fantastic. We did lose all of our subs and all of our destroyers, but we actually killed a lot of his stuff. So let's see. So let me see how many planes I have here. So those fighters are going to stay there. 3 of those fighters are going to stay there. So what are these here? Okay, so this one is going to go to 60. And then 1 more is going to go to 60. 4 fighters and 2 battleships and 2 carriers. That should be enough. All right. These guys are going forward. I'm going to send one that way. I'm going to send these 2 fighters. Wow, I don't even need to move them back, I don't think. Oh yeah, those 2 fighters are going there. All right. Actually, we'll move them here. And then we'll move our 2 guys there. And then we'll go here. With 2, wait a minute. We'll go here with 2 transports. God bless it. Go here. 2 transports. Pick up the 4 guys. Drop them in Manchuria. Then we'll take the other 2 transports and put them in C-Zone 60. Because I'm going to have an aircraft carrier and 2 destroyers, I think. What did I bought 2 destroyers, right? Yeah. Aircraft carrier, 2 planes, and 2 destroyers against 4 planes. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to do. All right. All right, our aircraft carrier, our destroyers, and our submarines go there. We're going to put 2 artillery and an infantry. Actually, we'll just put the 2 artillery there, and we'll put the 4 guys. Well, I can only put 3 guys there. Okay. All right. All right, I think that's it. All right. All right, pretty good round for Japan. What's my money now? 44. All right, he's going to trade. Russia's going to branch out. He's going to take all these back, and I'm not going to be able to go near him for a couple turns, but I should be able to stack Karelia and maybe even the Caucasus. Maybe not, probably not the Caucasus. I have to see. But I should be able to stack Karelia. All right. The game's going to go longer, a lot longer, especially if he keeps buying Navy, but I got the upper hand in my Navy now, so I think I'm going to move, maybe take Alaska next turn and move my entire fleet into 64, depending on what America buys. Maybe we'll just pressure the shit out of USA. Or at least drop down here and take friggin' Hawaii. So, I don't know how he has 8 out of 10 because he has those 2, but I'll take those back. All right. That's going to do it for Japan, round number 6, and I'll see you guys back for Germany, round number 7.
All right, Germany, round number 7. So United States just bought 2 more battleships. Didn't do any combat, moved his destroyer from 55 over to 56, and moved a couple guys from Africa into Transjordan. USA has nothing in the Atlantic, and United Kingdom has very little in the Atlantic. He's got the 2 guys in France that I'm going to wipe out this turn. He's got no follow-up. Some planes, but that ain't going to do anything for him. And they drove a tank over here into Archangel, I guess to help Russia out, which could do something. And then India... I'm not close to taking India yet, and he's still... I think UK still has a decent amount of money. Yeah, the UK has a lot of money. So he could buy some stuff. Germany, on the other hand, does not have a lot of money. But I've got a decent amount of attack power. 24-point lead. Definitely not insurmountable yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things in Europe. The one big thing that we have is we're going to send 1 infantry and our 2 fighters at West Russia. And then hope that that works. We're going to send 1 tank, capture the Caucasus. So we'll lose 6. We'll gain 4. And England's going to have to use... Oh, it can use this tank if it wants, but maybe 3 tanks. Which he might do. I don't know. I'm not really sure I know what his strategy is yet. And then we're going to... I'll just take this with 1 guy. Because we're going to take that. And then we're going to go heavy into France. All right. Oh yeah, that's what I'll do, because I'm going to have stuff in Poland. Alright. I think that's all I want to do. Alright. I think that's it. Let's get this done and hope it works. Obviously the big battle is West Russia. Alright, combat was okay. We failed West Russia though, which kind of sucks. So we're going to go ahead and move. We're going to actually move 1 guy into Bello, and then everything else is going into Karelia, including our tanks. Our AA gun's going to fall back. We're going to send 3 infantry into Poland. Everything else is going into the Baltic. This AA gun will go to France. These fighters will go to Baltic. All right. I think that's it. All right. Let's see. 2 artillery and 8 infantry and 1 infantry into Italy. Got up to 39, which is not terrible, but it's not great. But our stacks are coming. So we got 17, we got 9 here already. 17 more coming. So the stacks are heading towards Russia. So he's going to have to start spending money here, which he's got plenty of money. He's got 44 bucks. So we'll see what he does. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for Germany round number 7. And I'll see you guys back for Japan round number 7. All right, Japan round number 7. So United Kingdom bought a transport, 7 infantry, a tank, and 2 artilleries. And then he mobilized the transport to Sea Zone 8, an artillery and 2 infantry to India, and then a tank and artillery and 5 infantry into United Kingdom. Obviously preparing to make landings, which is fine. I should have plenty of defense for that. I did some of the math. I figure USA is going to keep buying battleships or more Navy. But this turn, I'm going to take... I already have enough to defend 90% with his Navy against my Navy. So I'm going to stack Burma this turn and make him choose to defend Moscow or India or both. So I went ahead and bought 4 infantry and 3 artillery, a submarine because I need to at least keep a little bit of pace because I know he's going to buy some more stuff, and then 2 transports, which are going to just be used to get more troops over to the mainland. I'm going to have too many transports, but what I'll probably end up doing, sending one of them over to Africa and start taking Africa next turn. So first thing I'm going to do is take Archangel, and then we're going to stack Burma. So let's take this. Let's hit it with that. Let's go down here. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go here and hit it with that. Well, wait a minute. Do we want to do that? Kind of need those planes. No, we won't use those. But we will take one infantry. Go down here with 1 transport. Grab this guy. Go here and drop him here. We will take 2 more guys. Go down here and drop them here. And then we will take 2 artillery, 2 infantry. Go down here and drop them here. And I think that's all we're going to do. Yeah, because we'll use the other fighters. Well, we're going to use those fighters somehow. I don't want to leave fighters by themselves. So we're not going to use those other fighters. We're going to land them maybe in Japan, so they can be used in conjunction with subs. All right. I think that's all we're going to do is Japan. Sorry, I should have done that. So I think that's all we're going to do is Japan. All right. Okay. We're gonna... Oh, they can't go down there? Wait a minute here. I can move this here, and then I can move those there. And then I can move these fighters to Japan. And then I'll move my battleships over to 61. My aircraft carriers over to 61. My fighters over to 61. Our destroyers are going to go down to 36. These 2 infantry are going forward. These 3 are going forward. This guy is going forward. This has a 95% chance to hold against this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he can use the bomber. 1, 2, Why did I think he couldn't use the bomber? Okay, it's 81% to hold. Let's see here. 82%. All right, that'll work. Bomber cannot be used to attack C-Zone 36, but it can be used to attack Burma. So that's actually pretty good. 82%. I'm just wondering if I should move this back. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna keep advancing. Our subs are in the right spot where they need to be. And then we'll be in range where we can hit Burma. I'm sorry, we can hit India. Or we can send a couple of transports over to Africa and start capturing this shit. Or we can send them down to Australia and start capturing Australia. But in any case, we should be able to expand Japan even more. And we got to start dropping as many land units as possible into Asia. Let's see here. Yeah. All right, our transport's going to 62. Our submarine goes into 60. We're going to put 1 artillery, 2 infantry into Manchuria, and then we're going to put 2 infantry and 2 artillery into Japan. All right. That is going to do it for Japan round number 7. And I will see you guys back for Germany round number 8. All right, welcome back. This is going to be the end of the game. So my opponent forfeited after doing United Kingdom's turn. So what he did was he bought a fighter, 2 tanks, 4 infantry, and an artillery. And then he took France and Northwestern, which he expected. And then he tried Burma, which wasn't entirely unexpected. I did give it about a 14% chance to take it, I think. Let's see what he put in there. Let's see. A bomber, 4 infantry, 2 tanks, and artillery, and 3 fighters went into Burma. And was unsuccessful. So anyway, it did not work, and then he ended up forfeiting. So he did his entire move, and then he forfeited, which I don't really blame him. I don't see a path to victory for him in this game. In Europe, I was going to take these back, no problem, because I had a lot of infantry, and I had a lot of infantry here, and he had very little left with Russia. I think he only had, let's see, 10, 12, 15 land units in the entirety of the Soviet Union. That wasn't going to cut it. It just wasn't going to work. Now, did I have odds on India? I'm not sure. I might have, or I might not have. But bottom line, the United States Navy wasn't going to cause me any problems. So, and if I had to guess, I'm thinking my opponent did not use a calculator. Because when he moved into 58, he had to know I had a 96% chance to wipe his fleet. And why would I not take that? Like, of course I would take that. I almost had to take it, right? Because I can't let his fleet sit there off the coast of Japan. So, and then him just buying more battleships and more fleet, it just, you can't do the split Navy thing. You got to go all in. You either got to go all in to attack Germany, or you got to go all in to attack Japan. Because he had nothing else but England. England by itself is not going to make a dent in Germany's Europe. This is not going to do it. He took Norway with Russia really early, but that was going to fall. And I had so much stuff here. that I was probably going to be able to stack West Russia and then crush Russia. It's just way too much. He did not have an answer for this. So, anyway, that's going to be the end of this game and the end of this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks a lot, and I will see you guys back for another video.